Hi there!
Hello!
Thank you for joining. So the other day Anastasia and I were talking about how many of us like sitting and contemplating about mistakes we've made in the past and wishing we could turn back time and do something differently. Unfortunately, it's not possible. All we can do is just learn from our mistakes and make sure we don't repeat them in the future. However, there is a better way to learn. You can observe others and learn from their mistakes and make sure you don't repeat them.
So in this video today, we're going to share some of the biggest mistakes that immigrants and newcomers make when they arrive to Canada. That way, you'll be able to avoid those mistakes yourself and will have a much more pleasant and enjoyable experience of assimilation in Canada. But before we begin, we have two big announcements to share with you guys.
That's right! Learning from others' experience can be very powerful, and not for just avoiding mistakes, but simply to just get started. Because if you see someone you know doing something you think is extraordinary, be it changing careers or moving to a new country, and you see that person succeed, it becomes much more real and tangible, and it makes you feel like you can do it too. And then, you might not even notice it, but you start making the first steps to make that change in your life too. Every day we see you guys engaging in meaningful discussions in the comment section below, and we decided we can make that experience better for you. So we would like to announce that we are starting a Facebook group where you guys, newcomers and newcomers to be, can exchange information with each other and share your experiences. So if you want to join, please go to the description box below and learn more details from there.
And we also have one more announcement to make for you guys. Each day we see a lot of questions coming our way in comments, and we feel bad about not being able to answer all of them because there are just so many of you guys. On top of that, we want to make sure that we share our experience and knowledge in a way that's accessible to you. We simply want to make sure that you have the right resources at the right time. So with that being said, we'd like to announce that we're also launching a newsletter that we will be sending you guys on a weekly basis. So if you would like to stay in touch with us and receive a weekly email about immigration, life, career, and news in Canada, just dive in the description box below and subscribe to our newsletter.
Alright, go grab a cup of tea, sit comfortably, and let's talk about mistakes that newcomers make in Canada so that you can avoid them. Or you can also grab a pen and a piece of paper to write them down. Let's get started.
So the first mistake newcomers make is developing a low self-esteem in losing all the confidence they have. This, in my mind, is the biggest thing to watch out for when you're moving to Canada. Immigration is a psychologically difficult event. Your entire humanity is being jolted from the warm and comfortable home and implanted into a foreign and unknown environment. At first, it looks cold, unwelcoming, and even hostile for some. Many even lose their own identity with immigration. They become unconfident, displeased, and depressed. The simplest task of going to the grocery store, going to the bank, becomes such a difficult challenge because you simply don't know what to expect and how to handle different situations in Canada. An extrovert may become introverted and shy, and an ambitious person may lose all of their drive, start questioning their goals, and become fearful. They struggle building bonds in ways that are familiar to them, and they become frustrated and disappointed.
To fix that, try positive self-talk. Positive self-talk can have a magical effect and make you feel better. In addition to that, don't strive for perfection. Don't beat yourself up when you fail at something or make a mistake. Hundreds and thousands of immigrants make mistakes every day, just like you and me.
Many mistakes.
And also, do not compare yourself to others, because an assimilated Canadian immigrant has years of experience behind their backs, and your classmates or relatives who stayed back at home are surrounded by the things that are familiar to them. So we're all dealt different cards in life, and we all handle them differently. We all have different experiences, so it's just unlogical to compare yourself to others. So instead of beating yourself up for mistakes you've made, or instead of comparing yourself to others, just focus on the things that you can change. That way you can see some tangible progress and reward yourself for that progress. And don't forget to surround yourself with supportive people, those who encourage and uplift you.
Another mistake that newcomers make is taking too much credit and getting stuck in debt. Canada, being a comparatively capitalist country, makes it very easy to acquire credit. Free credit cards, rewards points, buy now, pay later services. all of these promotions and so on and so forth. It is very appealing for a newcomer to buy a shiny new TV, to get a new car loan, and overall start mimicking the North American consumerist lifestyle, buying things they only think they need. Don't do it. Taking on too much credit leads to a bad credit score and financial difficulties in the future, especially if you're very new to Canada. Your credit score is important if you want to get a new job or move to a new apartment. There is a simple set of rules that you can apply to avoid making those mistakes. Don't overuse your credit cards. Only spend as much as you can afford. Don't take the large loans unless you've secured a stable job and you're sure that you can make all the payments on time. If you want to learn more about how to build your credit score, we've made a video on that a couple of months ago, so check it out in the description box below.
Similarly to the previous point, many newcomers make a mistake of not saving money or not investing. It's probably because many newcomers to Canada lack financial education. They spend what they make and they live from paycheck to paycheck, fearing the day when an unexpected bill comes in or any unexpected repair. And even if they save money, they usually keep it in cash or just let it sit in a bank account and depreciate over time. And it's probably because they distrust the financial system in Canada due to the lack of knowledge. Saving and investing is the best way to build your wealth as a new immigrant in Canada. After all, if you want to buy a home, you need to have a down payment. And I'm not sure if you've heard or not, but real estate is crazy expensive in Canada. If you have a plan on buying a home or want to protect yourself from unexpected job loss or expenses, you want to make sure you have some money sitting in your bank account. However, given that money depreciates over time due to inflation, you want to make sure that the money at least preserves its value over time. Our recommendation for you would be to start saving and investing as soon as you can after you move to Canada. If you're not a financial guru, use auto-investing platforms and make sure to make deposits on a regular basis. And even if you can make a tiny saving of $3 a day, you will have over $1,000 by the end of the year. Believe me, 10 to 15 years from now, you will thank yourself that you did that.
Another mistake that newcomers make is staying within their own communities and not dedicating much time to learn the new language. It's only natural for us immigrants to stick to our own communities that are so familiar and comfortable. In the place that everything is so foreign and unfamiliar, a pocket of your own culture that speaks your language and thinks the same way feels like a breath of fresh air. It naturally makes you feel less alone and gives you the initial feeling of comfort and safety. However, it will eventually result in a much longer period of adaptation when it comes to language, understanding Canadian culture, and making connections necessary for your success in Canada. Also, it often results in a very one-sided, often negative perception of certain aspects of the way Canadian society functions, which makes some people regret their decision, and some get even depressed. Our recommendation here is to get outside of your comfort zone. Get out there, meet people from different cultures, learn about new points of view and new experiences. And if you want to practice how to make friends in Canada, we've made a video on that a couple of months ago, so check it out in the description box below. Getting to know new cultures is really important and rewarding. When I moved to Canada, speaking to someone from India or China felt strange to me, simply because I never encountered those cultures in Russia. However, after talking to them for a little while, I've realized that we are a lot more similar to each other than we are different. We have similar values of family and work ethic. And besides, we have at least one huge thing in common. All of us are going through the difficult immigration experience together. So the best thing that we can do is extend a hand to each other, get to know each other, and help each other make that experience a lot better.
Alright, and the other mistake that newcomers make is overconsumption and overeating, which is very similar to the other point we made about taking too much debt. And this is also related to your eating habits. I've seen times and times again how new immigrants in Canada start gaining weight, and it even can lead to some health problems.
Oh yeah. Been there, done that.
I definitely put on a few pounds. So I'm not trying to make a blank statement here, but the quality of food, selection and availability does affect some newcomers to Canada. Cheap processed and fast food is an easy option for immigrants to opt in, especially when you're struggling finding a job and counting every cent. It's a lot harder to find organic food here too. and often you have to pay premium. The wide variety of novel foods, chips, cookies, and so on also makes you excited and makes you want to try everything sometimes. I am definitely guilty of that. But we all know that addiction to sugar is as serious as addiction to cocaine. Stress of immigration doesn't help with consumption. Turning to food in times of increased anxiety is a natural response, but you are guys aware of it and you can work on it. My recommendation would be for you to pay attention to how your eating habits change after you move to Canada. Try to avoid processed foods, limit sweets, and keep a good balance between organic and non-organic foods as much as you can. Many immigrants find their nation's markets and stores and choose to buy food there, since they often carry foods familiar for the given culture. Stay active, say no to sedentary lifestyle. Luckily, there are many sports facilities available, often at no cost. And of course, there are plenty of gorgeous hiking trails and beautiful nature to explore.
Another mistake that immigrants make is getting stuck in their survival job. It is no secret that the biggest challenges that immigrants expect to face is finding a job. Most immigrants often opt in for the very first low-paid job that they can find, just so that they can feed the family while they're trying to build a life in Canada. It is a very admirable thing for immigrants to do. Imagine you were an engineer or a doctor back in your country, but when you arrive to Canada, you have to work as a barista just to feed your family. It's something that you have to do sometimes, just so that you can build the life that you want in the future. As the time passes, however, some immigrants may get stuck in that survival job for way too long, especially those who struggle with language and overall culture adaptation. They cease to believe they can get a better job because they maybe lost some self-esteem. And even if they can get a better job, they don't believe they can succeed in it and stay in the newly found comfort zone of a survival job instead. All that makes them stay at the survival job, missing out on a chance to start building the career they want. Our recommendation here is to be a little bit more ambitious than you believe yourself to be. Don't settle for the survival job and work actively towards building the life that you want. And in the end, you've already done the hardest thing you could have done. You've made the choice to leave everything behind and move to the new country. So this was the hardest. It doesn't get any harder than that. It only gets easier after that. Be open-minded and don't forget to network. More on that in our next video. Canada is a country of opportunity and it rewards people who take risks. And in turn, it doesn't punish people harshly when they actually make mistakes. And this leads us to our next point,
which is not asking for help. And I don't just mean people around you or your friends or family. When you're in the new environment, you start changing psychologically, emotionally, and mentally. It's a gradual change, but for some it's very uncomfortable. The older you are, the more uncomfortable the change might feel. Some try to resist it, some feel like they're losing their individuality. In cases like this, don't be afraid to ask for help. Maybe see a therapist and discuss what's bothering you. Your mental health is very important. That's why the very first mistake we mentioned in this video is that people lose their confidence and they don't work on it. So seeing a therapist can be very helpful because, you know, sometimes talking about your issues out loud is the very first step to resolve them. And same goes for material things. If you need anything, talk about it. There are multiple charity organizations in Canada that can help you with material things, starting from clothes to furniture and electronics. Community centers and churches can help too. Other immigrants can help you too, because they know the struggle you go through. They've made the same steps in the early stages of their immigration process, so they can help you with things and advice. You'll save yourself time and stress trying to resolve some issues on your own from scratch. Just ask for advice from other immigrants.
The next mistake is actually one of the biggest mistakes that immigrants make. They don't do their own research. And it could be because they just prefer to live that way, or maybe they don't have enough time, or they're used to relying on other people doing research. Many people don't do proper research when immigrating, and that's why they face issues like not being able to find jobs and just being generally unhappy in the new country. Obviously, that can lead to many wrong steps and some big mistakes. Don't ever assume that all systems in Canada work the same way as in your home country. Some systems differ even from province to province. So once you're in Canada and you want to move to another city, don't assume that you already know everything. Anticipate your steps, plan well, and research on all the steps you need to make before making those steps.
Simply put, prepare for the worst while hoping for the best. I remember myself when I was getting ready to move to Canada. I had this visualization, planning and research mode on all the time. Need a credit card? What bank should I choose? How does credit system work in Canada? Going to the bank? What documents do I need? What if they ask me this question or that question? If English is not my first language, how would I explain what I need? Do I know what words to use? I think I've become a master of Google during that period. Honestly, I think it's so easy these days. To find the information needed just takes minutes. However, to study the information and learn what you need takes hours, but it's worth it. And if I wasn't able to find something through my own research, I would reach out to other people on forums and Facebook groups and ask for their advice. But I would always double check the information given by them. First of all, they're not the official source, and I don't want to screw up my life, right? And secondly, well, things change so rapidly, and their information might be just out of date.
The list of mistakes that immigrants can make when moving to Canada is infinite. But we hope that this small list will get you thinking. For those of you who have been in Canada for a while now, what are the mistakes that you have made? Please share some of your experiences in the comments below so that newcomers can learn from you. And if you're a newcomer and are thinking of moving to Canada, our question for you is, what is it that you're afraid of the most at this stage of your life?
Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to click the like button below and subscribe to this channel, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye friends.
Take care!